turned in their work, which is amazing. I don't want y'all to think that I don't check, because I do. That's how I know how many people have done their work. So excellent job with that. We're going to start off class first by seeing, let me just do a roll call real quick. Do y'all know what an HBCU is, though? Do y'all know what an HBCU is? Can y'all put that in the chat or say it out loud? What is an HBCU? If I say, what is an HBCU? An example is actually on the screen right now. Who knows what an HBCU is? And sixth graders, you might not know as much about HBCU. It may be more of an eighth grader thing, but it's all good. Okay, marching band thingy. Okay, marching band has to do with an HBCU. So the H, historically. The B, black. The C, good. Colleges. Yep. And the U, and university. So HBCU is just a abbreviation for historically black college and university. Miss Izzy went to an HBCU, Howard University, the Howard University. But there's so many different HBCUs. Have y'all seen the movie Drumline? Are there people in here who've seen Drumline? Okay, cool. So you know the HBCU in the Drumline movie is called Atlanta A&T, right? So you may have heard of North Carolina A&T. In the movie, it was Atlanta A&T. Newsflash, Atlanta A&T is not a real university. It is just fake for the movie. Atlanta A&T. Do not be saying, I want to go to Atlanta A&T, Miss Izzy, when I get 18. I'm going to tell you, that joint does not even exist. That's just for the movie. So we're actually just going to watch a quick clip of one of the performances from Drumline. Drumline stars Nick Cannon, y'all. Nick Cannon. Hate him or love him. He definitely had to learn how to play the drums for this movie. And I want you to start putting in the chat, as soon as you hear the music, I want you to start putting in the chat all the instruments that you see and recognize, whether it's 2 instruments, 4, 7, or 1. They're going to look at you like, what did she say? Here we go, y'all. I can't with that. What instruments do y'all see? The dancers. That's something. My performance. Hey, Miss Trent. All right, y'all. So we saw a couple of instruments in the video. Some of the instruments that you saw were what? So Delano, you got us started with trumpet. Any other instruments you saw? It doesn't have to be a brass instrument either. What other instruments did you think you saw, or if you heard? Love it, Lano. Tuba. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Drums. Excellent, Michaela. What else? What else? There's also the percussion instrument that is 2 pieces and it comes in like this. That's called a cymbal. The cymbals. So we're gonna be learning about those too. So I just wanted you to see what it's actually like to go to an HBCU, right? Every time we go to a football game at an HBCU, newsflash, it's not about the football team. It's actually all about the marching band at an HBCU. Not that the football team's no good, but most people who go to an HBCU football game or basketball game, it's all about the band. It's all about the dancers, right? All right, cool. So let's get into it. So from yesterday, we know that this instrument is called a trumpet. We know that it has valves. We said that it's cylindrical, meaning it's the same width around from the one end of the instrument all the way to the next. Did we say the trumpet was high or low? And you actually heard it in that clip we just watched. High or low? I see you, Herman. High, nice and high. Nice and high. All right, so cool. That's the trumpet. Now you should have your notes out. We just reviewed the stuff from yesterday. Let's get into the next instrument. So now you have here a trombone. Okay, a trombone. Just looking at the picture, would you say that this instrument has valves or a slide? So the trumpet, right, we know it had valves, buttons. Look at this. Is this a slide or valves? Good. It's got a slide. If you were to just play your trombone without a slide, this is what it would sound like. Like real dry, real boring. But you need the slide. The slide is what gives you the different notes. Who wants to hear one note? Nobody wants to just hear one note. You want to hear as many notes as possible. So the trombone has a slide. Now here's another question. Would you say that the trombone like can stand alone and like do its own thing by itself, or do you think a trombone has to be surrounded by trumpets and tubas and drums and stuff? Do you think the trombone can stand alone? What's your guess? I'm just curious. What's your guess? Do you think the trombone can stand alone and do like solo vibes, or do you think in order for us to really enjoy the trombone sound, we have to have it surrounded by all the other ones? I see Herman has said that the trombone can be independent. Christian thinks that it's got to be surrounded by other instruments. Let's peep it. So you already know HBCU, stand up. I already said Howard a billion times today. This artist, this group that you're about to hear, Norfolk State University trombone section, right? Y'all know that song by Stevie Wonder, Isn't She Lovely? They actually killed that. Listen here, listen. This is a battle. Make sure this is in your notes. We could say it has a slide. Now, would you say it's cylindrical, meaning it's the same width around from the one end of the instrument to the end, other end, or would you say that it's cone, like it's real small and then it opens up at the end? Do not talk about the bell though. I know the bell is like a cone, but I'm talking about the whole instrument. Would you say it's cylindrical or would you say it's conical based on what we learned about yesterday? Cylindrical or conical? I would let you put a C in the box in the chat, but then we wouldn't know which one. So would you say it's conical shaped or cylindrical? Let me see your answers. You also could just put it on your notes because it's got to go there anyway. Yeah, exactly, Chris. It's cylindrical. It's cylindrical. Good. And then would you say it's lower than the trumpet or higher than the trumpet in terms of the pitch? Is it higher or lower than the trumpet? Delano, you said the trombone was higher than the trumpet? Because it's like, is it the bigger the instrument, the higher the pitch, or the smaller the instrument, the higher the pitch? Because the trumpet was smaller than the trombone. Yeah, exactly, Delano. I love that you changed your mind. It's cool to change your mind. Excellent. So please make sure you have this in your notes. If I'm looking at my notes, yours should look just like mine. That's the other one, my bad. Cool. So we have trombone, lives. We got trombone. We got that it is cylindrical. We got that it has a slide. And then we also got that it is a low pitch compared to the trumpet. Now, go ahead and turn in that assignment because what you probably have, I'm just going to pull up somebody else's. What you probably noticed about it is that you need the artist. Does anybody remember the name of the artist that we watched? The name of the artist. Norfolk State University trombones. Once you have all of this filled in, right? Once you have all of this filled in for today, you have your stuff from yesterday, you can go ahead and turn that in. We have one more set of instruments to learn, or two more instruments, and then we're done. So again, once you turn in the stuff from yesterday, you got all this stuff from yesterday, and then you added trombone for today, you can turn that in. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to turn in yesterday's. You should then have out this one for today that says, who am I? We're going to run through these, and then we're actually done for the day. All right? So take about 20 seconds to get yesterday's notes turned in. That's the stuff about trumpet and trombone. And then I'll meet you back with the next instrument. Again, in order to put the next instrument on it, you have to have out the one that says day 2. I'm going to show it to you one more time because I know it's the second day back. So if I'm looking at my list of assignments, it's from today. And it's called Brass Family Day 2. Once you open up Brass Family Day 2, it's going to give you day 2, who am I? Okay. So Delana, I want you to stay with us. So if you need like one or two from the previous one, I can catch you up after this, okay? So let me know if you need more time to get to the next set. And these are the only 2 instruments we're doing left for the rest of the day. Yeah, Delano, just let me know what you need after we go through these two instruments. So the next instrument we're going to actually learn about is some kind of horn, right? But you notice on your notes, it says blank horn. So giving you the only clue of like, it has to do with like a country. It's not the English horn. That's a different instrument. There is an instrument called an English horn. What's another country that you could use to like help you decide what kind of horn this is? So you could call it a horn, but it actually has a fuller name. Something horn. What would you say? Go ahead, Kamani. Okay, you could also put it in the chat, Kamani. I saw you raise your hand and you were like, no, I bet you actually know it. Do I have anybody who wants to guess what the full name of the horn is? Something horn has to do, it's not London, right? It's not Spain, it's not a Spanish horn. What's another European country that you could think of that may help with the name of this horn? It also makes me happy that nobody knows it because it just means it's new information. Okay, there is a type of Brazilian horn, but actually the best name that we're going to call it is actually the French horn. So it's actually the French horn. Now, I know Miss Izzy always says stringed instruments are the hardest instruments to play. I always say that. But the French horn is actually one of the more difficult. It's one of the most difficult instruments to play, right? The French horn. It's like, Miss Izzy, but why? What's difficult about it? All they got to do, they just got to push down some, they just got to push down some buttons, right? Well, let's look at the actual horn. Let's look at it. Hello, fellow. We'll come back to that. So let's look at it. First of all, does it have valves or does it have a slide? Looking at the French horn on the screen, does it have valves or does it have a slide? Because you saw the slide with the trombone. Cool. So it has valves. It has valves. And how many valves does it have? You can actually just count. How many valves do you see? Yeah, it's got 3 valves. Excellent, Leno. It's got 3 valves. So what's difficult, Miss Izzy? The trombone got valves. All they do is blow into it and push the buttons. The trombone must be easy. All I got to do is use the slide. But a French horn is harder than all those because they're blowing into the horn. Their right hand is their left hand is pushing on the valves. So they got mouth going, then the fingers are pushing down the valves. And then what is this other hand happening? What's the right hand doing? They actually stick their hand inside the bell of the French horn to make the sound. So if you were to not stick your hand in there, you would barely even get a sound out. It's like, Izzy, how can you stick your hand in there and still have a sound come out? There's a sweet spot that once they stick their hand in that bell right here, there's a sweet spot that they have to leave their hand there in order to make a beautiful sound. But a lot of people do not play the French horn well because it's so hard to play in tune. So hard to play in tune, especially my string players in here. For us, when we put our tapes down on our instruments, that helps us know where our notes are. But for the French horn, they have their valves, but when they stick their hand in there, it's like you don't know where that sweet spot is. It's different on every French horn. So again, we know valves, right? Do we think it's cylindrical or conical now? So like think of it. If you were to unbend this French horn, like unwind it, take all them circles out and stretch it out, would it be conical or would it be cylindrical? Exactly, Christian. It would be conical. Because at the very end of it, you got the mouthpiece. And then by the time you get to the end of it, the other end of it, it's more cone shaped. Good. So would you say you think a French horn has a low sound, a high sound, or both? Low sound, high sound, or both? Just a guess. We're just taking guesses right now. I love it. Chris said both. Kamani, you said low. I love it. These are just guesses. So like go ahead and throw your answers in because you don't know if it's right or wrong yet. So just throw them in. Love it, Kai. You said little both. Oh, a little of both. Is that what you're saying, Chris? All right, cool. Well, how can we figure that out? Well, we could actually, it's both. Let's listen to what it sounds like though. Let's listen to what it sounds like. So do y'all know, I've heard that classical piece, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. That song? Yeah. Let's listen to some HBCU horn players play, and then you tell me, is it high, low, or is it like both, like in the middle? Listening? Of course, he's being very professional. Here we go, y'all.